Winning Blueprint presents.
In the lab room, the market. Chicago Bears.
Welcome to the market. You're in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the market, the NFL's one-stop shop for all positions related to the field, more commonly known as NFL free agency. Here today to talk to you about the Chicago Bears. This is a team that needs to be a huge player in free agency. This is a team that really can't take that next step until they upgrade their roster. They have deficiencies that can no longer be ignored. They've been ignoring them for a while now. They've been trying to skate with these deficiencies on their roster, and it's caught up with them each of the last two seasons. So now they have to address them. There's no other way to go about it. You have to address your weaknesses if you're the Chicago Bears. Here in my hand is a comprehensive list of every single free agent available on the market to teams like the Chicago Bears. And I will be consulting that list when talking about the Bears and what free agents they need to go out and seek to help their team be better in the 2013 season. And I also will be using the assistance of my handy dandy trusty big board. This board has every single team in the National Football League listed on it. And among the topics on this board are notable free agents for the team in question. We're talking about the Bears, so they have free agents that are going to be up that they need to either re-sign or allow to walk away. You have restricted and unrestricted free agents, and so the Bears need to either figure out if they want to keep these free agents or allow them to walk away. Then you have positions of need. And after the positions of need, you need players to fill those positions. And so we will discuss all of those with this big board that I have in my hand, and we will talk about the Chicago Bears. So let's talk about the Bears, what they need to do in this offseason to become a better football team. And if you're the Chicago Bears, you need to take care of your in-house free agents first. Figure out which ones mean the most to you. Re-sign them. And then you need to move out into the market and get free agents that can help you take the next step. So we will talk about their notable free agents first. And I will run off the list of free agents that I think are worth talking about. This isn't a list of every free agent, just the ones that I think are noteworthy. And then we'll go over them one by one individually as to whether the Bears should retain their services or allow them to walk away. I'll give you my opinion, and I'll give you also what I think the Bears are going to do. So we start with Jason Campbell. Then we work our way to Israel Adonijah, Lance Lewis, Henry Melton, Brian Urlacher, DJ Moore, and Kelvin Hayden are your notable free agents. So we start with Jason Campbell. And I was hard on him in the 2012 season. But it wasn't all his fault. Jason Campbell is a solid and probably as solid as you're going to get at the backup quarterback position. And I was hard on him because he was putrid. But he was behind an even worse offensive line. And if your line doesn't give you time, then you can't shine. And Jason Campbell did not shine in the 2012 season. And his line had a lot to do with that. And so I need to cut him some slack. And he needs to be back in Chicago. And I think he will be. And the Bears seem to be doing everything in their power to make sure that he's back. And I expect Jason Campbell to be back with the Bears in 2013 and beyond. Israel Adonijah. Here's a guy that has been with the Bears organization his whole entire career. He's been solid. Nothing to write home about. He's a guy that I think you could replace. He's not an irreplaceable guy. But if you're looking for someone that's solid, that you trust, that you know what he's about, Israel Adonijah is your guy. You can re-sign him. I don't think he's going to be back, however. I think that the Bears are going to allow him to test the market. Maybe if he goes out, brings back a price, it's affordable, those dollars make sense to the Bears, maybe they'll re-sign him. Lance Lewis. This line wasn't all bad. Lance Lewis was solid. but the Bears need this line to be better. And I think they're going to allow him to test the free agent market because they think they can upgrade at the guard position. Maybe they re-sign Lance Lewis after he's allowed to test the free agent market, goes out and gets a number, brings it back to the Bears, and again, those dollars make sense. If the dollars don't make sense and you feel like you can upgrade at that position, which I think the Bears feel like they can, then you allow Lance Lewis to walk. Henry Melton. Here's a guy that you franchised. He's not going anywhere. And I think that was a very smart decision by the Chicago Bears. I think Henry Melton might be your best defensive lineman. And yes, I know you have Julius Peppers, but Henry Melton is that important to your defensive line. He is one of the most disruptive forces at defensive tackle in the National Football League. And no, I did not stutter. Henry Melton is that good at the defensive tackle position. Brian Urlacher. This is your biggest decision in the offseason in terms of in-house free agents. After Henry Melton, I think Henry Melton was 1A, Urlacher was 1B because of what he means to your team. Not because of the production on the field, because his best days are behind him, but because of what he means in the locker room and what he means to this franchise. Urlacher is going to be back. They just have to come to some common ground. They both have to figure out what's an acceptable number to bring him back at, and he'll be back. He's not going anywhere. The Bears won't allow him to go anywhere. It'd be a PR nightmare if this guy was allowed to walk away and not finish his career as a Chicago Bear. He's going to finish a Bear. He needs to finish as a Bear. He will finish as a Bear. Urlacher will be back. DJ Moore and Kelvin Hayden. To me, you don't need both of these guys back. You just need one of them back. Pick one, anyone, bring them back. I think Kelvin Hayden is better than DJ Moore. I think you allow DJ Moore to walk away. You keep Kelvin Hayden, and you keep it moving. Because you still need another corner in free agency, if you ask me. And you don't need both of these guys back. You got Tim Jennings. You got Peanut Tillman. You keep Kelvin Hayden. You go out and get another guy in free agency, and you're set. I think you let DJ Moore walk, and you keep Kelvin Hayden. So let's talk about the Bears' needs in free agency. Positions of need for the Bears are left tackle, and that's a huge need. The first need. After you take care of your in-house free agents, left tackle is the first need to address. Outside linebacker. Quarterback. Backup quarterback, that is. And we talked about Jason Campbell. If you get Jason Campbell back in the fold, you don't need a backup quarterback. Cornerback. I just talked about cornerback. We'll talk about some cornerbacks that I think will fit what the Bears like to do in Chicago. Tight end. I think after left tackle, tight end is the next important position to address. And then wide receiver. And I have it in parentheses because I feel like the Bears don't have to address the wide receiver position. But if you want to replace Johnny Knox, who just retired, and you want to stretch the field with a guy that can get vertical, look, Devin Hester is still there. But if you feel like you need another receiver, someone else to complement your big outside receivers in Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey, then I got a couple of guys that might fit that mold for you. Let's start at left tackle. And it's simple. I think you need one of three tackles if you are the Chicago Bears. You need a left tackle, and you need a damn good one. You don't need any more average to below average left tackles like Jamarcus Webb. You need a real bona fide left tackle. I think Jake Long is the first guy that you need to go after. You can't get him. Jermon Bushrod is the guy you go after. And look, Jermon Bushrod might actually be better than Jake Long. I think a lot of people have been giving Jake Long some grief and some flack because he was injured last season and he didn't perform at the level that the Miami Dolphins think that he should be competing at if he's going to be looking for the kind of money that he thinks he deserves. But I think he's healthy now. I think Jake Long is going to play better football. And I think you should go get Jake Long. But if you can't get Jake Long, Jermon Bushrod and Sam Baker are other options. And it needs to be one of those three. I think those are the three best left tackles that you can get on the market. You need to get one of those three and no one else. And I don't see the Bears not being able to get one of these guys. I see one of these guys ending up in a Bears uniform. You look at outside linebacker position, and you're looking to replace Nick Roach. And there's several guys that can do that. You've got guys like Darryl Smith. I think he's a perfect fit in Chicago. Solid veteran linebacker, knows his responsibilities, knows what he can do, has a lot of football left. He's as durable as it gets. Last year was his first real season of missing significant time. He's coming off of an injury, but Darryl Smith is a very solid player for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think he would make a huge impact on the Chicago Bears defense, and I think he would be an excellent fit in Chicago. You also have guys like Philip Wheeler and Thomas Howard. I don't think Thomas Howard is in the mold of a Chicago Bears linebacker. I think Philip Wheeler could be that kind of guy, but I think Thomas Howard is more of a finesse outside linebacker, and the Bears need someone that's a tough Chicago Bears, hard-nosed, black and blue division linebacker. I don't think Thomas Howard is that guy. I think you need Darryl Smith, honestly, in my opinion. You look at the quarterback position, we talked about it. If you get Jason Campbell back, this isn't a need. I think Jason Campbell will be back, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on backup quarterback. You look at the cornerback position for the Bears, and there are several corners that can help you. I think you need to pick one out of DJ Moore and Kelvin Hayden. I think you should keep Kelvin Hayden, retain his services, and allow DJ Moore to walk. If you do that, here are some corners that I think can help you. Mike Jenkins from the Cowboys can come in and be a guy that can start for you in a pinch and can play some nickel for you as well. He wants to start, so I don't know if that's going to be an ideal fit for him, but he's like another starter, and I think the Bears need another guy that can come in and be like another starter. Tracy Porter, unproductive in Denver, was marred by injuries during his whole tenure in Denver, and so I think he's a guy that you can get on the cheap that can come in and help you. And this is the guy that I think is the most ideal fit for the Chicago Bears. If you're still going to play the cover 2 defense, again, Lovie Smith is no longer there, so I don't know if that's going to be more of your base look or not. But if you're still going to be that kind of aggressive defense that's looking to force turnovers, Darius Butler, a guy from Indianapolis that got turnovers last year, had 2 interceptions that went to the house. Here's a guy that can help you. He's a guy that's opportunistic, looks to make plays. He can be beat. He can be had. But look, the Bears like opportunistic corners that are going to make plays. Darius Butler fits that mold. I think he's a guy that can help you. That's the guy you should target in free agency, and it's not going to cost you that much, especially in this corner market that is so enriched with talent and so drenched and saturated with cornerbacks. It's going to water down the market and make guys like Darius Butler inexpensive, and I think that's a guy that you can target and get for not a lot of money. So you look at the tight end position, and look, this is your second biggest need in free agency. And I think you're going to address this early on. I think you're going to be ultra aggressive in doing so. There are a lot of good tight ends out on the market. I think you're looking at Jared Cook, and I think that's the best of this tight end market. I think he's the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. And if you're looking for a tight end that has the potential to be in the upper echelon of this league, Jared Cook is your man, and you need to go after him. And I already have heard reports that the Bears are looking to target Jared Cook in free agency. I think that's a great move. But if you don't get Jared Cook, or maybe his dollars aren't making sense to you, there are other guys on the market that can help you, such as Benjamin Watson from Cleveland, Dustin Keller from the Jets, Martellus Bennett from the Giants, and Fred Davis from the Washington Redskins. Fred Davis is coming off Achilles surgery, so you have to be careful there, but I think he's 100% and ready to go. He can help you. He's a great pass-catching tight end. So is Dustin Keller. Had an off season in 2012, had some injuries and some personal issues off the field that didn't allow him to flourish. But this is a guy that's ultra-productive. When he's all there and 100% healthy, he's not going to block for you. He's not a blocking tight end. But you have guys on your roster that can do that. If you're looking for a pass-catching threat, Dustin Keller can fill that void for you. Also, Martellus Bennett is a guy that needs a fresh start. He got that fresh start in New York. He played up to his potential in New York, a lot better than he did in Dallas. I think he can be even better, and maybe he's going to stay in New York. The Giants want to keep him, but if they don't and he's available, you should make a play for him as well. If you don't get Jared Cook, if you don't get Dustin Keller, if you don't get Benjamin Watson, if you don't get Fred Davis, Martellus Bennett is another guy that can be there for you in free agency. And wide receiver, here's a position that I don't think you have to be that aggressive in chasing after free agents in. Look, you could use another receiver, but you don't have to. I feel like with Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Devin Hester, and Earl Bennett already there, I don't feel like you need another receiver. But if you feel like you need a deep threat, someone that can stretch the field, I have one guy in mind for you. Devery Henderson from the New Orleans Saints. This is a guy that would fit that role perfectly. He's not a starter. He's not a guy that you're going to look to throw the football to 50, 60 times in a season. But he's a guy that can catch you 35 to 43 balls. And he's a guy that can get you 16 yards a catch, go down the field, get behind the secondary, make some big plays in your offense. Devery Henderson, to me, is a perfect fit in Chicago. And that's it for the Chicago Bears. Again, don't be afraid to spend money. And I don't think the Bears are. I think they're going to be aggressive. They're going to go out and get some things that they need. They have some needs that they're going to address through the draft. They have some needs that they directly need to address through free agency. Left tackle, tight end, they come to mind. I think Devery Henderson is a perfect fit in Chicago. I think that Darius Butler is a perfect fit in Chicago. These are guys that you can get, I think, on the cheap in free agency. Don't be afraid to spend money. Go into the market, look around some of these racks, find the guys that can help you out, find the price tags that fit what you're looking to spend, put it in the cart, go out to the checkout, and get yourselves some players that can help you in free agency. And that's going to be it for the Chicago Bears in the market.
Chicago Bears, the market.